There were moments between the excitement about starting this project where there was also a looming anxiety about it all. I spent the entire morning ruminating about where my career could take me and how adjusting to such a busy schedule felt like I was conditioning my mind and body to take on a strenuous amount of activity. I thought to myself that feeling blessed about the business was the right way to think about things, but in the same breath it felt like releasing this project was like a big test, and I'm always afraid to fail tests. I've never been good at test taking, and in my formative years, I would spend so much time and effort into studying, and I would think that I had it all covered, but come the day of, I would just completely blank. Working myself towards a goal like this applies a different kind of pressure, where in the moment, I feel as though if I were to be around someone who knew more than me about video making and filmmaking, like if they were to see me slip up, the entire project would just lose momentum, and they would just stop believing me right then and there because of it. The night before I had to be up at 7 a.m. for Mitch's episode where we would do a segment on his fitness and nutrition, I walked on the treadmill, thinking of how I had properly prioritized every single moment of my day leading up to the next. Back when I first met Mitch, I was deep in a place where I felt like I couldn't find my footing. I wasn't quite at the point where I could envision the life that I'm living now, and I was going through a lot of financial and social struggles. Although it had been getting better, I needed more of an edge to be able to live the future that I'm in now. One of the first conversations that really stuck with me all this time was about making things a priority in order to see a change in your life and disciplining yourself in order to maintain everything that you believe you can be. It felt exactly like an introduction to a new way of thinking for me.
My name is Mitch Arnholt. I'm a musician, I'm an artist, a marathon runner, a restaurant server, a creator, motivator. Yeah, that's what I got so far.
All right, let's get into it.
Well, my biggest influencer when I was younger was my dad. My dad was a drummer. I was probably 5 or 6 years old. We had these old VHS tapes of the band playing. And being younger, being so just awe-inspired by my dad, we had the drum kit down in our basement. So I'd go down there and just beat the freaking piss out of the drums, man. Just shredding them apart, man. I was just breaking too much parts, and it was loud, and it was just an inconvenience. So they took the drums down, and that was that. Go about three-ish years later, there's this video game, Tony Hawk's Underground. I'm friends with a guy in school at the time. He finishes the game and he's telling me what happens when you finish it. You unlock these secret characters, and one of the characters was Gene Simmons from Kiss. And I'm like, who the hell is Gene Simmons from Kiss? You play this secret level, and if you collect KISS, Kiss, it plays a Kiss concert, like a 2-minute clip of a Kiss concert. I'm sitting there watching this on the TV, and I'm so mesmerized by it. Like, it's just a moment where I just black. I'm seeing guitar, rising, elevated drum kit, fire, blood, spit, hot chicks. Like, I'm seeing all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. At this point, a childhood friend of mine who lived down the street from where I was growing up, his dad got him and his siblings a drum kit and a guitar. Story goes, as my mom says, one night, parents are on the patio, kids are in the basement. They start hearing some dude tearing it up on drums, like, oh, that's actually pretty good. Who is that? Homie's dad walks down, kind of checks on us. He sees it's me playing, and he tells my mom that night, get him a drum kit. I come home from school, I just walk into the basement, drums are all set up, like brand new parts and everything. I'm just playing and closing my eyes and just imagining that there's this huge crowd there, and I'm just playing like I want to be a rock star. That's what I want to do. We go through phases of life. I was, for a year or a couple years, I was just messed up. I mean, I had disordered eating patterns, I had body dysmorphia, a lot of anxiety. I just wasn't confident. I was fragile. When I joined this local band, I knew I needed to change. I knew I needed to like get my shit together. I've always wanted this. Why am I gonna let this slip now? The restaurant I worked at the time, there was a personal trainer who was a server. And I just, asked him, he knew his stuff. I wanna get in shape. I wanna put on some pounds, some size, some muscle. I just don't know what to do. Could you write me up like a program to follow? And it was, yeah, absolutely, I got you. So writes up this program. I mean, I was on it, wanted it so bad. And I just started following it and I made it my mission. I was like, I'm getting up at 5:30 or 5:45 a.m. and I'm leaving for that gym by 6:15 and I'm getting to that gym by 6:30 and 6:45. And I'm getting my workout and like, I don't need to get up that early and do it. But I need to install, I need to make this somewhat kind of hard to kind of give myself that, build that discipline up. I just knew I had to do that. So that's what I did. I put on 20 pounds, within the first month. It was quick. Then I started realizing, okay, well, I do want to pay attention and care about what I'm putting in my body. Let's do it in the best way. Let's actually fuel the body. So that's when I started really getting into cooking for the first time. I had my routine. I had a very structured routine with it.
Do you take supplements also?
I do take supplements. I've always taken a protein, always taken a protein powder. Most of us, if you're middle class, you're busy. It's gonna be really hard to get over 100 grams of protein in just from food. Creatine. I think everybody, any age, should be taking creatine. Got cognitive benefit to it. It helps, you fill out a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Straight up.
Collagen, hair health, your skin health, nail health. Yeah, it's great. It's those are the main ones, really.
After the first couple of interviews, we headed over to the end and it got me thinking. How does he prioritize staying on top of his nutrition and fitness while on tour? And what were some roadblocks he ran into that he wished he knew beforehand? What was the first show that served as the catalyst to his career? Luckily, I got some really good answers.
We load everything in, all this merch, all this gear. Let's get it all set up.
Mitch doesn't load gear.
Then we'll get some sound checks going here soon.
The first real tour, going from city to city to city, it's all across the country. You have to leave at a certain time. There's a reason why it's called bus call. If you're not on bus call, I'm sorry, we're leaving. You have to get to the venue, to the next city at a certain time. You have to look at the other logistics, traffic, the weather and conditions. These are all things you got to take into account. I never even would think about thinking about that. There is so much more to the traveling aspect of it than actually just playing the show.
I mean, it's crazy, right? You see it, you hear about it. It's like a whole, I can't even describe it, man. You do travel gigs all the time and big cars and RVs and stuff, but it's not the same as this. This is a whole nother level. It's basically your home. It's a house. The fact that we have, I think, 11 people total on this run, all using all the bunks, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Trying to stay on top of fitness and nutrition while I'm out on tour, just throw me into the fire and I'm gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna wear my running shoes all the time. Running shoes, all that good stuff. You kind of make it your own little home. Right now, for example, as they're setting up, I know we have 20 minutes, I might go rip a couple miles. Luckily, with having a bus, we have a fridge and a freezer, so I can keep perishables in there. But and you go to your grocery store and you can stock that. That's good for a couple days. And so you just kind of just figure things out. Shower wipes, any kind of body wipe, because you might not get a shower, dude. You might have to sleep in that sweat and it's gonna suck, but that's how it is. So I would say wipes for sure. The first real big gig, it was January in 2014. The band I was in is in high school, my senior year of high school. We were playing at one of the bars in downtown Columbus. Probably fit 150 people in there. It was grungy, it was run down. I mean, I just remember we were promoting the crap out of it. We wanted everybody from the school to come. I mean, tickets were $7, which is crazy looking back at it now, but I remember just doing it, meeting the other bands that were also on the bill, and that was like one of those moments where it's like, yeah, I'm about that. I love this. I want to keep doing this. A month later, we played like one of the bigger music venues in the city, Newport Music Hall in Columbus, Ohio. Fit about 1,000 people in there. And I mean, I'm a senior in high school and I'm like trying to get all my girl crushes to come. I'm like telling my teachers, kind of just like sticking it to them and like, look at me, I'm playing Newport. It was like such a big deal. Yeah, it was just so crazy. And I think it even like shocked my parents, like, oh crap, he's playing at Newport?
When I look back at the filming that I did for Mitch, it almost makes me envious because you would never guess that a Tony Hawk video game with a Kiss tribute is what shaped him into who he is today and everything that he does in terms of his rock star lifestyle. When I was at the age of discovery, I never realized how important it would be to have such a strong support system and how having that support could change the entire trajectory of your life. There was also a huge chunk of time between the beginning of Mitch's episode versus the end of Mitch's episode because he had left to go on tour for Letdown and he wouldn't be back until whatever ambiguous date he had told me. And it gave me a lot of time to think about how things didn't really roll out the way that I wanted to. And it seriously made me realize that I cannot rely on a plan when it comes to starting a project like this, especially when it comes to like, you know, I have to count on other people to be available for me. So this is kind of what I signed up for. And amidst the doubt, it made me think like, you know, this project is whatever I want it to be, whenever I want it to be. And whenever somebody feels like they can be a part of it, they'll be there because they're not going anywhere. Their life is going to continue and they're going to continue to do all these awesome things. And in the big ambiguity of it all, I found myself here and this is what I've decided to do. And I am still enjoying every single bit of it. A part of things not working out the way that I planned made me realize that I need to be more prepared for when things don't go to plan and to just commit to getting it done in general. This is only the second episode that's coming out on the project. Originally, when I wanted this episode to come out, I wanted to show the progression between how new I was at everything with each episode and, you know, show the entire process of upgrading materials. But the audio was so bad for the introduction of Mitch's episode that I had to get it re-recorded, and that's why it took so long. Because I knew that showing the process would be cool, but I knew nobody was gonna watch my stuff if it sounded like dog water. The inspiration that I got from watching Mitch's performance and listening to his experiences put me under the pressure to test how far I could take my own passions. And it made me wonder, how far will Mitch's pressure push him to accomplish his own greatness? How far will it push my own? The only failure would be to fall short of my own standards. Pressure has to come from you, I found. The biggest clash you'll ever have in life is the inner voice that knows you can go anywhere you choose, and whether or not you listen to it is what paves the path forward. Life only goes as far as you take it.